What's poppin', people? You know who it is. It's your man Jimmy V. We back at it with another episode of Straight Topics, where I bring you one of my nice Hollywood friends who's doing their thing out here to let you know about their grind. So let me introduce to you guys Corbin Hunter. She is from Minnesota, so Minnesota stand up. She is listen here, she is a professional dancer, makeup artist, actress, as well as a model. Corbin, I want to thank you for coming on my show.
Thank you for having me.
Today's topic is professional dancing. One thing I always do, I want to make sure I provide value to anybody aspiring to do exactly that. How did you even get into dancing?
I started dancing when I was 2 years old. Thank you to my mother.
Okay.
Started in competition dance. It's really big in Minnesota. Did that up until I was about 13, 14 years old. And I always knew I wanted to come to California, so I made the choice to stop competition dance.
Right.
And actually get into real training. So first off, I went to a performing arts high school in St. Paul Conservatory for performing artist. From there, I trained at a ballet school, Classical Ballet Academy. Dancers usually don't really like ballet, but that is our core foundation, so of course.
Why is that? Why don't they like ballet?
Unless you want to be a ballerina, most dancers I know hate ballet. And I'm one of those people. Hated ballet, but I knew it was something I had to do.
Right.
So I did that for a year and quit after a year doing that. And then I was a part of a contemporary and ballet company still for 3 years, Poetry Motion Dance Company based in Minneapolis. And that's kind of where I found my core training there. It was really designed to make sure I had what I needed for my facility. So I am very grateful for my instructors, Marcelino and Stacy Bedecker, so thank you guys for that.
Shout out to them.
Yes, and then at 18, I moved to California by myself.
Dolo.
Yeah, by myself.
That is not easy.
No, and it was
How was that experience? I mean,
hard.
The feelings, describe it, because I was scared, intimidated in a way.
I had an idea of how LA was going to be. Nothing like how I thought it would be.
Right.
Nothing. It's so hard, especially being so young at 18 years old. I'm like, okay, so I want to do this. I want to be in music videos. I want to go on tour.
Right.
And it's not that easy. LA is all about who you know, networking.
Facts.
And I was just like, okay, so I want to come out here, I want to get an agent, and I want to book the first job I audition for. No, you probably aren't going to book a job. Let's say an average, you're going to be out here for at least a few years before you book the first job.
But when you came here at 18, how long did it take until you booked that first job?
3 years.
3 years?
Yeah.
Man, yeah. So all that time you were working though, working on your craft,
almost a full-time job, trying to pay your bills.
Right.
And devastating. Yeah, but you have to have a grind out here because LA is so expensive. I did not take that into consideration when I was moving out here.
Yeah.
We're all so excited about the hype of California, and we watch YouTube videos of everyone we want to, dance next to, or I want to be like. My dream is always to dance for Beyonce.
Okay. Speak it into existence.
Yes, since I was 12 years old, I wanted to dance for Beyonce. So, looking at videos of like Ashley Everett, like I want to do what she's doing. So when, you get out here, you're like, okay, that's not happening right now. How can I get there?
Right.
And, a lot of people say they want to do X, Y, and Z, but it's to really get what you want, you have to be determined and have to do
consistent.
Be consistent.
Persistent.
True.
Build it. That's right. Yeah.
And you gotta work hard.
One day I think you will dance for Beyonce, but let me let you guys know what this girl's been doing, because obviously, as you see in the background, she's got a few of her things here, but she has worked with Jimmy Kimmel, Genuine, Pharrell, Ice Cube's Big Three this past summertime, Lululemon Sportswear. So you have definitely been working out.
I'm trying, yeah.
You gotta be happy about that,
I am. I'm extremely blessed, but I know, you always have to be humble, because even though the things I have achieved, I want so much more.
For sure, yeah.
And it's not yet where I want to be.
But you will get there.
Yeah.
Talk about the different classes out here that you've had to take to get to where you are now.
I actually was a part of the Debbie Reynolds Scholarship Program. That was almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was a variety of classes. I was taking jazz, contemporary, hip hop, jazz funk. They had us in partnering, freestyle, salsa, whacking, popping, lock, like all these classes, just because I wanted to be as well-rounded as possible.
Right. So it's not even possible to get off the street and just hop into one of the, possibly get booked, I'll say.
It is definitely possible.
It is possible.
There are a lot of people I know who are booking today who are street dancers, who are phenomenal at what they do. And if you are amazing at what you do, you go into an audition and you are the best at what you do, it's yours, you know what I'm saying? But what I do, like, my main style is like jazz funk, hip hop. There are thousands of girls who love jazz funk and hip hop.
Right.
So it's like, who brings what to the table and wants it more, basically.
I think someone like the Les twins, you know what I'm saying? I remember their story, you know, they were just dancing on the street.
Yep.
And then one of their videos went viral, and then boom, boom, and then they're on tour with Beyonce.
Social media is
crazy.
Everything.
Yes.
Everything today. And that's how a lot of people, unfortunately, are getting booked today. Like, I've been to multiple auditions where you walk in the door and you're like, okay, so how many Instagram followers do you have? And you're like,
wow.
What?
Ooh, okay, great.
Is that really something that...
And this is also a great question here. How big is social media impacting you being able to book stuff?
When I first moved out here, it wasn't. But in the last year or so, it's huge.
Wow.
It's huge. A girl or a guy who I'm dancing next to may not, quote unquote, may not be as good, or I feel like, oh, I'm killing the steps and I feel like I'm doing better than this person, or I'm bringing something different than this person. But as soon as they ask you, oh, how many followers do you have? And I'm like, okay, maybe I have 8 or maybe I have 10. This person's like, oh, I have 50K.
50K, yeah.
Oh yeah, let me go ahead and write your name
wild.
down. Like,
that's wild. You know what I'm saying? And I've also noticed too that artists like Chris Brown, example, you know, he's known to repost dancers that actually dance to his
all the time
music,
to the music, yeah.
Which is actually dope. You know, that's showing support of his music, but also on the flip side, being able to showcase the dancers' talent.
Yeah, that's actually amazing that he does that. But Chris is an artist, but he also dances. Like, Chris is one of the artists who can dance, you know what I'm saying? So
he's
it's like he
out of this world.
Respects dancers who are, you know, who are talented, and I think that's amazing. And definitely for dancers who are, that's why a lot of dancers, as soon as a new song drops, like, oh, let me try to drop this out first so I can,
so then they can
you know, and that's even how choreographers are getting jobs. They do the song to an artist and they, oh, can you please tag her in this, I want to, you know, be her choreographer.
Right.
And that's just how it is right now.
How were you able to book a Jimmy Kimmel Genuine? Let them know the process you had to go through.
So Genuine was the first job I actually booked, and that was actually I met this choreographer when I first moved to LA. His name was Jabari Odom, and I met him at my job. I worked at a restaurant, and he came in one day and he was like, you know, like, do you dance? Are you new here? I'm like, yeah, I'm new. I'm from Minnesota. My name's Corbin. I want to dance for blah, 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 blah. And he was like, well, you know, I see talent in you, and he's like, I like you as a person. Just keep doing your thing, keep coming to class, and you know, like, I think I'll have a job for you someday. Literally 3 years later, he was a teacher at the scholarship program I was dancing at the time, and when I graduated from that program, he's like, I have a job for you. Do you want it? And I was like, yeah, of course.
Yeah. What you mean? Sign me up.
And he was like, I'm choreographing for Genuine. He was like, and he wants you to be a dancer. And I was like, what?
So how was that experience dancing? I grew up on Genuine, so anxious. I mean, describe being on stage next to him. You know, what were a few thoughts you were going through? Let us know.
Genuine is.
Did you peep how she started that? I know something's up.
No, he's a really sweet guy. I had a lot of fun performing with him. Being as young as I am, I was 21 at the time when I first started dancing for him. Okay. So his music, of course, like I knew Pony. In those jeans, yeah, just from like dancing with the music and stuff. But I really had to like channel being a woman because you know I always grew up like
you're Sasha Fierce.
Yeah, but like I was always the bigger black girl who had curves and breasts and all that stuff. So it was always like okay, dance smaller and don't whatever. Okay. I always had that. So when I got to Genuine, they were like, okay, Corbin, you have this body. You need to use it. Be a woman. Okay. And like that really kind of sparked me to not be afraid of who I was. Just embrace it. Like God gave you this talent, this body, this temple for a reason.
Use it.
Yeah, and it really made me. This job actually kind of sparked my inner womanly.
Inner fierceness.
Fierceness, yeah, my own Sasha Fierce, and it was great. I had an amazing time. I got to go on different cities with him and his singers, his band, everybody. Just so nice, a different atmosphere, and yeah, I had an amazing time.
I feel like just based off this conversation here, being a dancer has helped you grow in yourself.
Oh, for sure. I had a lot of like body awareness and identity issues growing up because I was always around, you know, skinny white girls, and that's not an issue, but it's just internally I was always like, okay, like why do I look different from these girls? And you know, I always wanted to be skinnier, and it just it really takes a toll on you when you're young.
Yeah. I can understand that.
Yeah, so
relating coming from Boston, which even when I tell people now I'm from Boston, they're like, there's black people in Boston. I'm like,
I get that all
yes,
the time.
oh, trust me, there's
the
plenty
time.
Of black people.
Yeah.
But you know, just being the only black people, being the only black person in a class full of white people, you feel kind of outnumbered, you know? Yeah. So then you might not want to be yourself fully because you don't have anybody else that can actually relate to you, you know?
Yeah, so that was hard when I was younger. So growing up and like moving to LA, I was starting to see people kind of having my body type. And I was like, okay, like maybe this is normal and it's not bad. And
well, now you're modeling gig. Look at you. Look at you. I mean, nothing to be ashamed of.
No, and it took me a long time to be okay with that because I know there are many girls out there who have my same body type who may have had the same issues I had. And it's just, you know, I really had to learn to be okay. We're not the same. God made me for a reason, and
that's right.
You know, love yourself. There's only one you.
And look at you now, performing at halftime shows.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite type of performance, I'll say? Is it with a musical artist? Is it these halftime shows? Like, if you could picture out the perfect one, what would it be?
The halftime show thing was fun, but my main, like, what fills my heart with joy is obviously being on stage. So Genuine and doing, you know, when I got to perform with Pharrell and we did Complex Con, and just I love interaction with people. I've always been a performer. That's one thing that if you asked anyone like about Corbin Hunter, oh yeah, she can perform her butt off.
Good.
And I just love being on stage. So hopefully one day I get to do it in front of millions of people. And
okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the competition. We kind of started to go in there, but how many dancers are at these auditions that you have to dance against?
I think the biggest audition was for NERD. At least, I would say, maybe 800 dancers.
What?
Yeah, it was over maybe like a 4-day span.
Wow.
And
So like,
Yeah.
how do you stand out? That's what I'm automatically thinking. Like, if I'm trying to book this,
Yeah.
what do I have to do to stand out from all these 800 other dancers?
That's kind of what we train for. What do we? So when I'm going into an audition, I'm like, okay, so what can I do to make me stand out from this next girl that's by me? And unfortunately, when we audition, they group you by ethnicity, by hair texture, by...
How do you feel about that? Because just the fact you told me that, I think that's bullshit.
Yeah, it sucks.
Wow.
But like, so I'm grouped with either the black girls or all the black girls with the curly hair. So it's like, okay, and the more times you go to audition, you start to remember, okay, I remember what that girl looks like. What does she do? What can I do differently to...
Watching the game, you know,
Yeah,
watching
you have to be a smart dancer.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're sitting at the choreographers who are judging you, they're sitting at a table for maybe 8 hours plus, like, okay, next, looking at you. So you really have to have something that catches their eye for them to remember you, which is, if I go back to networking, like, all the dancers who know the people behind the table kind of already have an in, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which is, I mean, if I can, one thing I could say to people is just try to network with everybody.
Okay.
Have a connection and relationship with everybody, because, yeah, that was the NERD probably was the longest audition I've ever went to. It was, I think I was there for maybe like 4 to almost like 1 in the morning for the audition to call back.
How long usually is the audition process? So you got the audition, and then if you do good, you get a call back that you have to perform again. So usually, and then you gotta wait until you actually find out that you actually did get the gig or not. So how long is that process there?
So auditions itself are probably like 2 to 3 hours. Excuse me, and then callbacks are probably longer. And it really depends on what they're looking for. If they hard choosing between, people, but the actual like waiting part is the hardest ever, because it can go from a week to 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, and you're like checking your phone.
You're just anticipating.
Yes, like sometimes I can't sleep because I'm like,
I know what's the deal? What's the deal? Yeah.
And you're texting your agent like, have we heard anything back yet? And you're like, no, we'll let you know. And it's like,
That's why they say, especially with whether you're a dancer, a host, a actor, or anything of that sort. They say, do the audition, do your best, leave it in the past, move on.
Yeah.
Because you just wait and you just wait to find out, and you're like psyching yourself out the whole time,
No, you totally, and you can't go into an audition with like, being nervous. Just go, have fun. Like now I'm at a point where I go to an audition just to have fun and be like, okay, well, if I don't book this job, hey, it was a free class.
True.
This choreographer may not book me for this job, but he may be in his brain like, okay, I like that girl. She may not work for this job, but I have a job next month. I'm gonna put her headshot to the side and remember her. Just, Never get bitter and, be sad. Because I remember like my first audition I ever went to was like a Justin Bieber audition.
Yeah.
It was my first one. I didn't know anything. And I was like so hurt, like I didn't make
they
a call
didn't
back.
call me back.
You get so sad. And it's just like over time you're like,
Right, okay. There'll be another one.
There'll be another one, obviously, you figure out like what, I'm not gonna go and waste my time on an audition that I know I wouldn't want to do, or, I would be happy with, or my family be okay with watching me do. Like you just, over time you start to figure out, okay, what do I want? Am I gonna go and spend my time doing this or doing that? And
if a dancer is looking to get representation, what should they have ready to go before even reaching out? And if you don't mind sharing how you were able to get your representation.
So before you try to get representation coming out here, definitely have, if you can, have a dance reel. I know like my resume wasn't very good when I first moved out here, but have, pictures, your headshots, resume ready. I had the blessing of, I knew a friend who lived here, and she was with an agency, and so she referred me. She was like, I didn't really have good videos, but she was like, I can, judge for her, saying that she's a good dancer.
Right, yeah.
Like she
vouch.
She can vouch for me, and they're like, okay, well, we trust her judgment, so we're gonna sign you. It goes back to who you know and networking. A lot of times I'm with GTA, but Clear Talent Agency Block, they always are having auditions. Just keep going back. Just don't give up.
There you go. She dropping gems over here. So make sure y'all taking notes. Now let's move on to the personal side of Corbin. I forgot the iPad. Thank you. So I like this segment of the show because I have 160 questions that I found, and I like to let you guys know to choose 5 numbers from 1 to 160. Whatever number that is, I will ask you the question, okay?
Okay.
So shoot me one.
Okay, my favorite number is 9.
9? Okay.
Number 9, we're gonna start there.
What are you kind of obsessed with these days?
I am a sucker for sci-fi romance. So I read a lot.
Okay.
So,
That's
yes.
new. That's the first time I heard that.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I love my sci-fi novels.
Okay.
I'm good at that. Let's do number 83.
83 it is. What TV shows did you watch when you were a kid?
The Proud Family.
That was a good one.
Sister.
That,
That's
another
a
one.
Raven.
That's a Raven. Okay. Yeah.
What else?
90s baby, I assume, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, for sure.
Got you.
102.
102. Now we in the hundos. Oh, what are your top 3 favorite things to talk about?
Okay, dance is obviously number 1.
Dance, okay.
Always talking about dance.
All right.
Probably my family, because I talk to them daily, and there's always something happening in my life with them.
Okay. Which, side note, isn't your sister a dancer as well? Okay.
My sister is a Minnesota Vikings cheerleader.
Vikings cheerleader. Okay, yep. All
Yes.
right. So dancing obviously runs in the family.
It definitely does.
Okay.
Third one, I don't know why, but people always come to me for like relationship advice. So that's something that's kind of we're always talking about.
Okay, so friends, family, and relationship advice. Gotcha.
Let's do 55.
55. Where would your friends or family be most surprised to find you?
Like location?
Yeah.
Somewhere cold. I'm from the cold.
Right.
But
that's yeah.
I know.
Interested?
I know, but say if I randomly wanted to move to like Canada or I don't know.
Do you like the cold over the hot?
No, absolutely not.
Right, yeah.
But like if I could bring LA's weather home,
that would be
it'd be amazing.
Mix.
Because
right, exactly.
I love my family so much, and I do plan to move home, but the weather is killing me.
Right. Because it's freezing back home in Boston too, so I know exactly what you mean.
So I want to stay where it's warm, but my family overpowers that, so.
Okay, so good answer too, actually.
Yeah, let's do the last one. What's a 160?
160, ooh, I like that. Nobody has done that. Who is your role model and why?
I would say my mother. She's not perfect, however, my mom has given me a lot of life lessons and experiences that I agree with, and she's an amazing and strong woman, and I hope that when I have children, I can give them what my mom has given me.
Aww, that's a tear jerker right there. That was sweet. Okay.
It's so true. It's so true. I mean, if anyone has a mother who like pushes them and it's, wants them to live out their dreams and doesn't.
I know. Yes, I know exactly what you mean. It's dope.
It's
just to have that support there.
It's beautiful, and I truly hope that I can give that to my children
when that day comes. Finish this sentence for me. My name is Corbin Hunter, and I'm a
dreamer.
Boom. A dreamer. And that's how we are going to end this episode. I want to thank my special guest, Corbin, for coming through on Straight Topics. Let the people know where they can find you at and to follow your journey.
Hey guys, so Instagram, you can find me at certified_Corbin. That's my main social media platform, so there you go.
Boom. And of course, I've been your host, Jimmy V. You can find me Twitter, Instagram at Be Your Own Dad. If you guys like this episode, make sure you comment and let me know what you liked best about it. Of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jimmy V. And until next time, I'll see you.